You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes!
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
Do you want that real sports talk? Unfiltered, unsanitized? Well, you have found it. This is a revolution in radio. The realest, trillest sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. This is sports talk for the people. Yeah! What's happening? Yeah. Thank you for joining your boy on the Doug Stewart Show. And this is a throwback Thursday, but you know what we got to do. We got to bring it back. Yes, yes, yes. Shouts out to everybody already in the chat room. All of the Stewies. What up, Gary? Join up, Fat Boy, Lamont Hart, Leon, Stagger Lee, Ducking and Dodging, Juan Cruz, That Ninja, Jungle Brother. Shouts out to y'all. Thank you so much for joining your boy on the Doug Stewart Show. And a lot to get into today, as we do every single day on this show, man. Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you're a new listener to the Doug Stewart Show, man, thank you and welcome, man. Welcome. Welcome. So we've been doing all of this stuff like on Facebook and all these different type of social media advertising. So we got new listeners every single day, man. We've been doing this for about 8 months now, and it's fantastic, going fantastic. Yes, this is your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the Two Live Stews. My brother Ryan is retired, but one stew is better than no stew. You better believe that. And trust me on this. This is the realest, trillest. That's one of the words that the young people use today. the realest, the most trillest, most fun, unfiltered guy talk, sports talk show in America right here on the Doug Stewart Show. So pass the word. Thank you so much for joining you, boy. If you're not following the show on Spreaker, you need to do that. Download the Doug Stewart Show app, but as well as go on Spreaker.com, follow the show, and then that's where you can jump in the chat room and be totally interactive. All right, so it's a Throwback Thursday, one of my favorite days of the week. We talk about old school stuff. We always do top fives for the most part, and we try to do a top five. We got a good one today. I read a lot of your chat messages. You're kind of like my co-host on the show. All right, so you're kind of like my wingman. All right, so whatever I talk about, whatever I get into, and it's, whatever everybody in America's talking about at the water cooler or whatever, that's what we do on the Doug Stewart Show. So I read a lot of your chat messages, so it's totally interactive. We have a lot of fun, and the biggest thing about the Doug Stewart Show is I keeps it real. Unlike the Puppet Factory. That's ESPN. All right, so May 14th, 2015, Throwback Thursday. Obviously, we're going to get into the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about a new poll out and talking about this whole Deflategate situation in the NFL with Tom Brady and the Patriots. Madden has a new cover boy, which is kind of interesting to me. Lovie Smith defends his guy. And a lot of other little things that we'll get into today on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And if you saw the title to the show, if you paid attention, is ATL Ho. And the Atlanta Hawks, unbelievable. They get it done last night. And even though today isn't Monday, we aren't giving ballers and busters, I'm going to give a Thursday edition ball award, man. Obviously, to Al Horford for the last-second shot, beating the Washington Wizards last night, 82-81, last-second shot, unbelievable. The Hawks now go up in this series 3-2, and man, just shots out to Al. He wanted it more, and he in effect ran over Nene from the Wizards last night to get the rebound and put back in the shot. And if the Hawks didn't win that game last night, man, they probably wouldn't have won the series. And so now I think you got to say that the Hawks are the odds-on favorite to make it to their first ever Eastern Conference Finals. Still more basketball to be played. They have to handle it on the court. But congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks. ATL Ho. Hashtag ATL Ho. All right, I need y'all to shoot that hashtag out as many times as you can on your cell phone right now. We're going to try to get that trending. ATL Ho, man, just very, very proud of the Hawks. And trust me, I've been in Atlanta. This is my 20th year in this city. And in 20 years, man, clearly, I mean, obviously with the fact that they have the opportunity to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in the team's history, there's never been a Hawks team this bad. I mean, we've seen a lot of bad Hawks basketball. We've seen a lot of dirty, rotten, nasty Hawk basketball. And I just start thinking of all of the teams, the Joe Johnsons, the Snake Normans, the Dikembe Mutombos, the J.R. Riders over my time in this city. And it's been bad. Some good times, but a lot of it, and most of it, has been bad. And so congratulations to the Hawks as they get it done last night, man, with a tremendous win. And you know how, who's the guy named, the artist that always, Frankie Beverly and Maze, joy and pain, sunshine and rain. Last night the Atlanta Hawks get it done, but on the other side of it, and I guess for personal reasons, the Memphis Grizzlies get ran over, and I mean ran over by the Golden State Warriors last night, 98-78. And so if you're new to the show, you might be wondering, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, you might be wondering why. Is it pain? Why was the Hawks win joy and this win by the Warriors pain? Is pain because I, in effect, put my nuts out there. I put my nuts out there and said and thought and made a prognostication that I thought the Grizzlies were going to win this series. Not only did I say they were going to win this series, but I said these ninjas were going to win the NBA championship this year, and that's not looking good. Oh. And you know what? I guess now that I told y'all to do this yesterday. Step back from the situation for all of the Brady and New England Patriots apologists. Step back from the situation for a second. And I guess when I step back from the situation and talking about these Golden State Warriors, I've been very critical in saying that, I don't think a jump shooting team is going to win an NBA title, and they're too young, and how dare people say Steph Curry is the best shooter in the history of the game. That's an insult. That's offensive to me. But after watching this game last night and really, really stepping back from the situation, Steph Curry is a bad boy. Oh, my gosh! He's a bad man! And not only that, man, it seems like this team might be like preordained to actually do this thing. They just get after every loose ball, and they shoot so many jump shots, so it's always like long rebounds. And Memphis is just a total antithesis of that. They got these big, slow guys, and they can't get to loose balls. And it's just like, it's like a little kid, running around an old, grown, stogie. And the athleticism and the quickness is very evident right now in this series, man. And Steph Curry is a bad, bad boy. He is, and it really hit me last night. Now listen, this series isn't over. It's 3-2 right now. Golden State goes back in front, but they go back to Golden State, and I just don't see how the Grizzlies can fight back from this. And they don't have any Tony Allen. He got injured and wasn't able to play last night, and it's just like they look like they're in two different levels. They do. After the last 2 games. I'm gonna hope and pray, because if they don't win this series, the Golden State Warriors, if the Golden State Warriors win this series and the Grizzlies don't win this series, this might go down as one of the worst prognostications that I've ever made in my life. And this is all about being right. I mean, let's be honest. In this business, it's all about being right and looking smart and like you know what you're talking about. Now, I've made some bad predictions in the past, but, man, I really just put it all out there and felt really strong about the Grizzlies. And I hope they can come back and make a miracle happen. But it doesn't look like it, man. It sure does not look like it right now. So what are your thoughts on these games in the NBA last night? And also, top five. Top 5 in honor of Steph Curry just going ham last night. And he hit all 3-pointers. And he just looked so pure doing it. In honor of Steph Curry and his shooting prowess, the top 5 NBA shooters of all times is what we're going to talk about today on the Doug Stewart Show. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to give you who I think are the top 5 shooters in NBA history, or at least the last 40 years. All right, that's what we're going to do today on the Doug Stewart Show. Hit me up on the Spreaker chat at Spreaker.com. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com, or you can give your boy a call. The number is 404-382-0338. And that's how we're going to do it, man. When we get back from the break, we'll talk more about these NBA games. We'll also get into some conversation about Deflategate once again. I know some of y'all are tired of it. I know you are, but that's what America's talking about. So I'm not the Lone Ranger. And if y'all want to talk about it, damn it, we'll talk about it, all right? Yeah, so don't go away. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Once again, that's Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. That's Doug@theDougStewartShow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975 and work it out.
This your boy Doug Stewart for my folks at System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners here in the metro Atlanta area all the way down to Macon, Georgia, the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for that busy lifestyle you lead for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose System 5.
Hi, I'm Maceo Brown, President and CEO of System 5 Electronics. We take pride in making sure that security is the #1 thing that we do. And thanks to you, the customer that has supported us, we have grown this company in Southwest Atlanta, where we're creating jobs and opportunities.
Not only is their monitoring station here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this. You own the security alarm system once it's installed. And you get direct access to the owner if you ever got a problem, Mr. Maceo Brown. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736, or online at System5electronicsinc.com. That's System5electronicsinc.com.
WELOVE 108 FM.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And this is a Throwback Thursday. And talking about everything going on in the world of sports. Last night, some incredible wins from the Golden State Warriors and the Atlanta Hawks. Getting into that conversation. Also talking about anything else you want to get into. We're going to get into some conversation as well about what's going on with Deflategate. A very interesting poll came out about Deflategate and fans' perception of Tom Brady and the Patriots organization. So we'll get into that here in a second. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. This segment is brought to you by System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as little as $16.50 per month. That's incredible. Yeah. So once they install it, you own it forever. They've been around for over 25 years. Their owner, Mr. Maceo Brown, will take care of you if you've ever got a problem with your security alarm system. They've also got this special going on this month where if you buy a smart solution system, they'll give you a free driveway probe. And what that means is when someone drives into your yard, you'll be alerted. You'll get a text message or a video or a picture on your smartphone, your laptop, whatever it may be, and you know you got people driving up in your yard. Right? So fantastic, up-to-date, new-age stuff at System 5 Electronics, one of the best in the business. So give them a call at 404-756-0736, or just check them out online at System5, the number 5, electronicsinc.com, and make sure you tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. So if you're just joining me, man, oh, boy, I don't know about this, man. I mean, last night, Golden State looked very impressive for the second game in a row and blowing out the Memphis Grizzlies 98-78. It really even wasn't that close, and I hate these West Coast games this late at night during the playoff time of the year. But I stayed up and I watched this entire thing for the most part. I left with like 2 minutes left. It was a wrap. And it dawned on me last night that these boys are pretty good. It actually dawned on me that these guys are pretty good. And in particular, Steph Curry is filthy. And I've been kind of critical of the dude because I just don't believe in the hype. I'm kind of old school. This is great. It's a Throwback Thursday. So I'm kind of old school in my thinking, and I think you got to earn that type of respect to be talked about as the greatest shooter of all time. And so today we're going to do a top 5 NBA shooters of all time on the show. I'll give you number 5 here in a second on my list. But all of the hoopla surrounding him, he won an MVP. You would have thought that after he won the MVP that I would have learned. Like, you're going to learn today. But still, no. The Grizzlies got this great win against them in Game 3. And then I just lost my damn mind, man. I lost my damn mind. And yes, Tree jumped on the microphone.
Yes, you did.
For the new listeners,
certainly did.
For the new listeners joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show, Tree, the producer to the Doug Stewart Show, is joining us. Good morning, first of all. How you doing?
Morning. I'm wonderful.
Now, what were you about to say? I'm sorry. I had to give you an introduction.
Well, I'm very surprised at all of this love that you're showing to Steph Curry this morning.
Whoa. I wouldn't call it love. I'm just keeping it real. And
you seem to be.
Go ahead.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, you went on a rant. The rant was so powerful, it was all over the internet. It's still one of the most top listened to.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what it was,
and I seem to have
amnesia.
I don't know. Did y'all go out to dinner last night? What's happening?
No. And I kind of mentioned this a couple of seconds ago. I keeps it real. Okay, and I may have underestimated this team, and this kid. Okay, and I think it's still proper for me to call him a kid. He's a young man, actually. What I was railing on a couple of weeks ago, you remember that story that came out, and I just remembered this. You remember that story that came out that he had shot 77 three-pointers in a row? I still don't believe that. I think that's hogwash. I think that's a damn lie. But, I mean, I guess I need to wake up to reality. I mean, the kid won the MVP, and he's just filthy. He's just nasty. When he catches the ball, it's like a freaking machine. And he just lets it fly, and, man, more times than not, it hits nothing but the bottom of the net, man. So congratulations to the Warriors. I hate being wrong, but I'd rather be real more so than anything else. So, I mean, damn. We'll see.
I was just making sure because it sounded like he took you to Red Lobster last night.
Okay, back with the Red Lobster theme. This is the Doug Stewart Show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I mean, last night, I think for the first time, and I've seen them play a ton of times this year. I mean, they're kind of like one of the marquee teams in the NBA now with the young talent that they have and the success that they had winning the Western Conference this year. So they kind of, get some airplay, much more than the Golden State Warriors of my youth growing up. And so I've watched them several times this year, and I guess my head is just hard. And I'm starting to realize right now, man, that these boys are they're kind of good. They're kind of good. So what are your thoughts on Golden State? Do you think it's a wrap? Do you think Golden State's going to go on to the NBA Finals? Do you think they'll possibly win it? I'm still not going to bow down and say that yet. I'm not that far ahead to say that I think Golden State's going to win a championship this year. But based on what they did last night in the game before, man, they damn well might. I mean, they got Andre Iguodala's playing like he's some type of spring chicken, like he's found the fountain of youth. The Draymond Green. And here's the crazy thing about it. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks last night as well, is freaking Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes. Like, they're very good too. I know you like, Ninja, where you been at? No, they're very good too, and they hit shots at such opportune times. They're always going to be wide open because Steph Curry, not only can he shoot the ball like crazy, but his handles is just like bananas as well. So he's always driving to the basket, and they always collapse on him, double team, and he kicks it out to Draymond Green or freaking Harrison Barnes, and they hit a three-pointer. So not only do him and Thompson, Curry and Thompson, shoot threes all day long, but Draymond Green, okay, and Harrison Barnes are very fluid at it as well. I mean, they know what the hell they're doing. They're actually pretty good. And I think Steve Kerr has done a fantastic job. Clearly he has. He's done a fantastic job, and I'm a guy that thought it was so wrong that they got rid of Mark Jackson, but I just gotta admit to it. I gotta admit to it, man. These guys, and they're young. Yeah, think about that. Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. They're like all 22 years or under. So they're going to be threats for a long, long time, I believe, man. I hate to say it, but damn. What are your thoughts on those guys last night? And also, what are your thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks getting it done? This is big stuff for this city. I mean, we ain't used to winning. I got to be honest with you. ATL, ho. We ain't used to winning. I need you to tweet that. We are not used to winning, especially on this stage. I wonder if the NBA is okay with this. Because you know what you want to see. You want to see the marquee teams in the NBA. You want to see the Lakers. You want to see the Knicks, even though the Knicks suck to high heaven. You know, you want to see those type of teams with LeBron James on them, whether it be Cleveland or Miami. But there's a very good possibility that you are going to have a team like the Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors, even though right now, once again, their brand out there, Golden State, is magnified to the umpteenth degree. But you're going to have some little seen and very unheralded teams in the NBA historically playing for an NBA championship, man. This isn't good for the bottom line as far as viewership and ratings for the NBA. But, hey, I mean, we love it here in the ATL, man. Good stuff by the Hawks. Al Horford, 23 points, 11 boards, 2 assists, 5 blocks. And we keeps it real around here. The Hawks got a shot. And I've been talking about this over the last couple of weeks, man. This year more so than any other year that I can remember, a team has an opportunity to steal an NBA championship. I mean, look at what we're talking about. We're talking about Memphis, Golden State, the Hawks, the Wizards. I mean, we're talking about, once again, very unheralded teams that's got a real shot to win an NBA championship. Somebody was, many people talk about it. I was about to say somebody, but many people talk about the fact that over like the last, 30 years, there's only been like 8 teams that win a championship in the NBA. Yeah. So, I mean, there's parity, there are competitive games, but in effect, you only got 6, 7, 8 teams that win championships. You've got the Spurs, you got the Chicago Bulls, you got the Detroit Pistons, and you got the Lakers. They probably won 90% of the damn championships in the NBA. Not this year, Jack. Not this year. This year, we're going to have a young blood. A young blood is going to win the NBA championship. A young blood is going to win the NBA championship. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, I'm going to read some of your chat. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read chat. Get your thoughts on these NBA games. We'll quickly go over my top 5 shooters of all times in the NBA. I'll give you number 5. Should have already given you number 5, but we'll do that when we get back. And that's what we'll do. We'll keep it moving, man. Yeah, sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's Stu for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code Stu, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code Stu.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. In a constant battle against weak-ass sports talk, this is the Doug Stewart Show. And the number to call the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We kind of like paying homage to Steph Curry in a crazy kind of twisted way. Because today I'm giving you my top 5 shooters in NBA history, as says Doug Stewart. Coming in at number 5 on my list is the great Dennis Scott, a.k.a. 3D. Now, let me just say this. Let me preface everything I'm going to say today. This is my list. And Dennis Scott might be a biased pick because he's, a good friend of me and the Two Live Stews in general, former Georgia Tech sharpshooter. But when you get a nickname like 3D, when you get a nickname like 3D, and at one point he was the all-time three-point shooter in the NBA, I think you deserve to be on the list of greatest shooters of all time. And the thing about Dennis Scott, man, is he just used to let it fly. I mean, real big arc on his shots. If you remember him, you can even go back to the college days with Lethal Weapon 3. It was a Dennis Scott, Kenny Anderson, and what was the other guy named? Brian Oliver. You remember Lethal Weapon 3 at Georgia Tech? If you're from Atlanta, I'm sure you do. But Dennis Scott, man, lighted it up. I mean, he lighted up. Not as established as these other guys as far as legendary status and a guy that's going to go in the Hall of Fame, obviously. But Dennis Scott comes in at number 5 on my list of best. And I kind of did this list based on partly their stats, their shooting touch, their form. One guy in particular they don't live up to that part of the equation as far as their form, and I'm sure you know who it is. But most of these guys are just like they were born shooters. You understand? It's almost like they weren't taught. They just came out of the womb just tossing it up. And Dennis Scott definitely falls under that category. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Birthdays today. Clay Matthews turns 29 years old today, the linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. George Lucas turns 71 years old today, the director of the Star Wars movies. Love Star Wars movies, man. I mean, we can do a top 5. We can do a top 5 Star Wars something at some point. I'm sure we will. Probably could have done it today, I guess. So he's 71 years old today. Rob Gronkowski is 26 years old today, which brings up another little topic. Did y'all see the story? Odell Beckham Jr. Actually got the cover of Madden over Rob Gronkowski. Congratulations to him. Now, I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with you. Well, let me talk about the story a little bit more before I get back to the birthdays. I got to be honest with you. I would have never thought in a million gazillion years that Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ, I would have never thought in a million years that he'd beat out Rob Gronkowski in a fan-type voting situation, because Rob Gronkowski is all over the place. He's always making a spectacle of himself. He's always in the news. And not only that, he's a damn good player. He just won a Super Bowl. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. is a youngster in relative terms. Last year was his first year. Even though he's fantastic and he's got a tremendous upside, I would have never, ever, bet in a million years that in a contest for, I guess, popularity that Odell Beckham Jr. would beat Rob Gronkowski in anything. Yeah, actually up for it was Gronkowski, Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's a fantastic, fun player to watch as well, and Patrick Peterson. He's a defensive back. You knew he wasn't going to win it. But it came down to Gronkowski and Beckham, and, Gronk won it. Congratulations. And it's his birthday. Damn, it's a good week for you. Gronkowski is an animal. I mean, he's like 6'6". I mean, you've seen the guy play. I don't even need to go into it. I mean, the guy's a freaking animal. I mean, he's part animal, part freaking caveman. But great skill. He can catch. He can run. I mean, it's a matchup nightmare for this guy. I mean, because he's bigger than everybody. He's quick enough and quicker than most linebackers and safeties. And he'll just, bully a freaking defensive back or a smaller player. So huge matchup problem with Rob Gronkowski, and so he's 26 years old today. Frank Gore is 32 years old today. Happy birthday to Frank Gore. Singer Shanice is 42 years old today. Shanice's claim to fame. I love your smile. Okay, I remember that. And then also she's married to comedian actor Flex. And also today is Raphael Sadiq's birthday, 49 years old. It never rains in Southern California. They tell me.
Damn it, that ain't even the right key.
That's my key. Stop hating on my darn singing skills.
The key is wrong.
Are you already nominated for a BPA? Oh, yes, you are. Don't worry about my singing skills. Yeah, we got to make sure and get this list together for this Boiled Peanuts Award. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And if you're new to the show, ask somebody in the chat room what the boiled peanuts are. They'll tell you. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let me read some of your chat here. From Fatboy McCoon, I picked the Hawks to win in 6, but they've been looking bad. Hawks still been looking nervous so far in the playoffs. They're not playing with the same spunk they have in the regular season. Yeah, something seems kind of off with the Atlanta Hawks. I will agree with you on that. And let's be honest, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, let's be honest. It came very close. They came very close to losing this game last night. I mean, Paul Pierce hits the last-second three-pointer, and they're up by 1, and by a miracle. I mean, by the grace of God, Al Horford positions himself there to make the tip-in for the last-second score and the win. So, yeah, Hawks could easily be down 3-2 going back to Washington. All right, I'm not naive, okay, but I just think that they got, Manifest Destiny? I think they got Manifest Destiny on their side, and they're going to win this series. And I'm not saying they're going to win the Eastern Conference Finals if they make it. I actually picked, if it came to a situation with the Hawks and the Cavaliers, who is probably going to be, I had to, kind of tilt to the side of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I think them getting to the finals this year, building upon their team, and the organization seems like it's going in the right direction. I think if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, win a game or two, win 2 games or so, I think it's a good year. I think it's a good year for the Hawks. But it's just too much, I think, to ask to beat a LeBron James-led basketball team in the playoffs. Now, once again, like I said earlier, this is a year where it can happen. You could steal a championship this year. I just wouldn't bet on it, especially seeing as the issues that the Cleveland Cavaliers have. No Kevin Love. That obviously obviously messes up their chemistry a little bit to a degree, even though Kevin Love wasn't the Kevin Love that we saw for many years in Minnesota. They played an entire season with him in the rotation, in the starting lineup. So I'm sure there's certain things that they like to do, the spacing on the floor, that's going to kind of hurt them and their chemistry going forward. So could the Hawks beat the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals? I think they could. Would I bet on it? Probably not. Because that dude, LeBron James, is, he's pretty good as well. From Togo Uganda Coles, did Doug just compare Memphis to the old man from the tavern? Yes, I did. From Let Me, they not ready, Doug, and talking about, I don't know who you're talking about. I guess you're talking about Golden State. Or maybe you're agreeing with me, or maybe you're disagreeing with me and think that Memphis is not ready. I'm not sure. From Triple Digit, congrats, Vern, for your Rags beating my Caps last night. They're talking some hockey right there. We don't really do a lot of that around here. From Ronald Cameron, the Grizzlies are a good team, but they don't have consistent outside shooting. Yeah, that's the problem. If they had one, marksman shooter, if they had a Kyle Korver type player, or to a little bit lesser degree, a Steph Curry type player, they would have a better chance of winning this series. But they just don't have that. It's all inside. And if you notice what it seems like to me, it seems like Golden State's playing a lot of zone. They're just packing everything around the paint and not making it easy for Zach Randolph for Marc Gasol. Anytime they touch the ball and they go up, they're highly contested. They're just floating around the paint, man, and just daring the Grizzlies to beat them from the outside. And once again, as we just been talking about, they just don't have enough shooting for that to be possible. Let's see what we got here from Fail Pay. If we lose Game 6 in Washington, but win Game 7 here, post-game, we need Pastor Troy, Archie, and Baby D to come out and perform ATL Ho and send Paul Pierce ass home. There was no Tony Allen last night as well. Yeah, somebody emailed me. They sent me an email. It's like, what does ATL Ho? They see that. What does that mean? They see that all over their timeline on Twitter or whatever. ATL Ho is a song. It's a rap song by Pastor Troy. These cats that I'm pretty sure it's these cats. I don't know the exact artist that sang the song, so I'm going to take your word for it, Fell Pay. It's Pastor Troy, Archie, and Baby D. Some Atlanta, some Georgia rap royalty. And they had this song many years ago. I'm going to guess 10, 12, 13 years ago called ATL Ho, ATL Ho, ATL. And all I want to know is how did they get hoes involved with this? But anyway, it was kind of like, an anthem type song here in Atlanta. So whenever Atlanta does anything good, Atlanta faithful will start screaming ATL Ho. Yeah. From Nino the Rhino, Hawks fans hate Paul Pierce, but would take him on their team in a second. Yeah, but that's how fans work. That's what we do. I hate Paul Pierce's ass even more than y'all. Ooh, I can't stand that ninja. I cannot stand no damn Paul Pierce. I've told that story many, many times before. What else we got here? From Sluggo, the principal that made those derogatory comments at the commencement speech is looking for employment. She was fired. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when we get back, all right? And I'm going to give you number 4 on my list of top 5 NBA shooters of all times. Don't go away. This is The Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on theDougStewartShow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's Stu for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank you so much for joining your boy. This is a Throwback Thursday. And you hear it in the background, ATL Ho. Only in Atlanta, man. I mean, you gotta understand, man. Atlanta is just so Atlanta. I mean, that's the best way to put it. And they get a big win last night against the Washington Wizards. And, man, I didn't even talk about this. Shouts out to John Wall, man, coming back and playing with a broken hand. Now, is it me? And I tweeted this last night, and I also put it on my social networks. Is it me? But I didn't think that there was any chance that he was going to play basketball again this year. Doesn't it sound like when they say he has 5 displaced fractures in his wrist or in his hand that he can't play basketball? That he can't dribble a basketball? I mean, I don't know about that diagnosis. I don't know about that. But anyway, he played great last night, but it just wasn't enough as he goes for 15 points. He has 5 rebounds as well, 4 rebounds as well, 7 assists. So he has a good game coming back from the injury. And I was shocked that the pregame, they said that John Wall was going to play in this game. I had thought, and I guess it kind of sounded like, that he was done for the season, and you would think so based on the description of the injury, but such is not the case. He came back, gave them a great lift last night, and once again, they had the opportunity to win this game, but they fell short, so congratulations to the Hawks once again. 404-382-0338. I will get into this conversation about Deflategate, some polls that are out there, and what fans are thinking about Tom Brady and the Patriots organization going forward. This segment is brought to you by Ticket Liquidator. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers to give you the opportunity to attend the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call them at 855-638-3034. Once again, that's 855-638-3034. And make sure and tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hold off on reading chat. I'll get back into that in the second hour of the show. But I wanted to get into this little story. NFL fans, by nearly a 2-1 margin, support the league's sanctions against New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady and the team, and more than half think that Brady himself cheated in what has become known as Deflategate. The ABC News poll found that 63% of all fans surveyed and 76% of self-described avid fans supported the NFL's decision to suspend Brady for 4 games. Now, let me break down these polls even a little bit more. And this comes from Langer Research Associates. They talked to 504 random Americans. They've got this thing broken down in all fans and avid fans. I think that I'm just going to give you what the avid fans are thinking because, I mean, you want to know what the avid fans are thinking than a casual fan, right? So I won't even waste my time with all fans. These are people that are big football fans and that follow the sport, I guess. Question 1, do you support or oppose the NFL's action against Tom Brady and the Patriots? 73% said that they support it. And that's a huge number. I mean, obviously that's a huge number, especially when you think about the kind of vagueness of the investigation and of the results. You know, I'm a person that always says innocent until proven guilty, but I think that number really just shows you of how obvious this is. And I've been talking about that a lot. It's just obvious. I mean, you really don't have to have any standard 100% proof in this situation. Just use your damn common sense. Poll question number 2. Do you think Brady cheated or not? Avid fans, 69% say yes, and 29% say no, 2% no opinion. So, in effect, 70% of avid football fans say, yeah, of course, that ninja cheated. So you got to imagine that 20% of those people that didn't think that he cheated are probably New England Patriots fans. I mean, that's not hard. Or live in the New England area. So, in effect, everybody believes that ninja cheated. It's as simple as that. Do you think this kind of thing is limited to the Patriots, or do you think it happens with other NFL teams as well? Avid fans, 12% say no. Say yes. Avid fans, 12% say yes, and 80% say no. And 8% says no opinion on it. So, in effect, everybody agrees that this probably happens on other teams as well. But what I've been screaming out to anyone that'll listen over the last week or so is that everybody else didn't get caught. So it is what it is. And I said this yesterday on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. When everybody talks about this whole thing about if you're not cheating, you're not trying, no one ever gives you the other half of that statement, which is if you get caught, that's your ass. As simple as that. Yeah, that's the other part of it. If you get caught, that's your ass, okay? Is the Patriots' Super Bowl victory tainted because of this incident? Avid fans, 42% say no, and 58% say, 42% says yes, 58% say no. So more fans than not say that this isn't going to taint Tom Brady's legacy, but it's still a huge number as far as people that do think that it will taint his legacy, and that's 42%. And actually talking about the Patriots' victory, would you support or oppose Brady being elected to the Football Hall of Fame at some point? All fans say, avid fans say 73% say no, they wouldn't. So they would be okay with letting him go into the Hall of Fame, in effect. And 24% say they oppose. So the majority of people say that they still think that he's a Hall of Famer, which I got into this conversation on yesterday as well. It's very strange to me on how stark of a difference it is when you talk about cheating, in effect, with steroids and performance-enhancing drugs in baseball. And Barry Bonds in particular, he's the example I kept throwing out in this situation with Tom Brady. Both of these guys have cheated. As a matter of fact, Barry Bonds has never faced any suspension or anything because of performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah, he's never failed a test. But that being said, nobody thinks that Barry Bonds is going to get into the Hall of Fame, but 73% of the fans, okay, believe that Tom Brady still should get in and that they would support him in getting into the Football Hall of Fame. And last question, do you think Brady is or is not a good role model as for young people? Avid fans, 61% say yes still, which speaks to Brady's golden boy persona, I guess. 61% say yes, he still is a role model. And 34% said that he's not a role model. So take that information what you will. Clearly, nobody's stupid. And most people are calling this for what it is. I'm glad to hear that, actually. But there's still a lot of reverence and love, I guess, for Tom Brady as well. What are your thoughts on that poll? What are your thoughts on Tom Brady and his legacy and the Patriots' legacy going forward as well? We get back. I'll tell you who my number 4 shooter in NBA history of all time is, and then we'll jump right back into your chat and keep doing what we do, talking about these sports. All right? This is the Doug Stewart Show.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
I'd been talking about red rice and frogmore stew. Another one on the list, on number 13 on this list, is peanuts taste better boiled. Yes. And as God is my witness, my wife did not know people boiled peanuts and ate them. She did not. My wife's from Ohio. And yes, boiled peanuts, if cooked right, are the bomb.
Sports talk. Straight, no chaser.
All right, so I got to clear something up. and I don't even know why anybody's mind would even work like this, but evidently it's becoming a topic of conversation. In the last segment, I was talking about boiled peanuts, okay, that come from out of the ground, not boiled peanuts. And so, evidently there's some talk in the chat room about Doug talking about boiled man parts. No, peanuts. I'm trying to say it as slow as I can. Peanuts, okay? What is it, P-E-A-N-U-T-S? Peanuts. No, man, not boiled peanuts. Come on, man. And I see Vern in here. Damn you, Vern. Ugh. Y'all know what the hell I was saying. This is the Doug Stewart Show. This your boy Doug Stewart for my folks at System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners here in the Metro Atlanta area, all the way down to Macon, Georgia, the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for that busy lifestyle you lead for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose System 5.
Hi, I'm Maceo Brown, President and CEO of System 5 Electronics. We take pride in making sure that security is the number one thing that we do. And thanks to you, the customer that has supported us, we have grown this company in Southwest Atlanta, where we're creating jobs and opportunities.
Not only is their monitoring station here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this. You own the security alarm system once it's installed. And you get direct access to the owner if you ever got a problem, Mr. Maceo Brown. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736, or online at System5electronicsinc.com. That's System5electronicsinc.com. Thank you for joining your boy on the Doug Stewart Show. This is hour number 2. What's up? I'm going to read more of your chat here in a second, talking NBA, obviously. And today we're doing the top 5 shooters of NBA history. Number 5 on my list was the great Dennis Scott, a.k.a. 3D. That's kind of a personal favorite of mine. There's a lot of other guys on my honorable mention that easily could be mentioned in the top 5. But I got Dennis Scott at number 5. Coming in at number 4 on my list is the great Chris Mully. Now the head coach of St. John's, the Redmen. Well, they're not the Redmen anymore. What are they? St. John's what? They're the St. John's something. But anyway, Chris Mullen, played his entire career with Golden State. Just phenomenal. I even made mention of it the other week when everybody was talking about Klay Thompson and Steph Curry being the best shooting backcourt of all time. I think I mentioned Chris Mullen in that equation as well, but really Chris Mullen was a forward, so I guess technically it wasn't. So it was Tim Hardaway. It was Tim Hardaway, and then it was who was the other shooter? And I can't remember his name right now. It was Tim Hardaway. Oh, and Mitch Richmond. And Mitch Richmond actually were the backcourt. But all three of those guys, I guess as far as a 3-man backcourt, because Chris Mullen played small forward. So if you're talking about the 1, the 2, and the 3 as far as a combination, that might be the best of all time. I mean, that I can think of off the top of my head. You had Mullen, Richmond, and then you also had Tim Hardaway. So fantastic backcourt. So Chris Mullen, if you remember the guy playing, man, he was just pure. He was just a pure shooter. So he comes in at number 4 on my list. Yo, check this out now. Don't forget, Monday, we are broadcasting live from Maceo's Kids' 18th annual Charity Golf Classic. All right, Maceo Brown, the owner of System 5 Electronics. What Maceo's, they kind of did like an acronym type thing. It's mentoring aspiring CEOs' kids. All right, once again, this is the 8th year in doing this, primarily a fundraiser for the organization to raise funds in an effort to continually develop the youth educational and job readiness programs that Maceo Brown supports. This year, they've recruited graduating seniors from Thorough High School in Southwest Atlanta. So it's this Monday, and it's at Mirror Lake Golf Club, 1000 Cannon Gate Parkway in Villa Rica, Georgia. We'll be doing the show live out there. Here's how you can be part of it. All right, grab a pencil. You can come out and hang with your boy, the Doug Stewart Show, the Tree of Life, and everybody that's involved with the show. Down with the chairman's box. All right, it's $100. You eat, you drink, you network. It's going to be a bunch of big wigs out there. Listen to some of the sponsors for this thing, man. Maceo Brown just does it real big woolly style. First of all, you got the Doug Stewart Show. I mean, that's a fantastic sponsor right there. You've got the Doug Stewart Show. Red Lobster. Right. The Doug Stewart Show, Red Lobster, Chicago Nancy's Pizza, Zoo Atlanta, Corona, Atlanta Beverage Company, Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Braves, Friedman Shoes, Indulge Cupcakes, Pepsi Company, Marietta Toyota, Krispy Kreme, McDonald's, just to name a few. So you're going to have a ton of swag. They're going to be giving away, obviously, giveaways and that type of thing, man. So you can get down with the chairman's box. All right, hang out with Doug Stewart and Maceo Brown and Maceo's Kids this Monday. We'll be doing the show live with the good folks from System 5 Electronics and Maceo's Kids. All right, give them a call at 404-756-0736. Once again, that's 404-756-0736, and tell them you want to get down the chairman's box and meet me out there where we'll be doing the show live. We've got a bunch of great interviews lined up. It's going to be a great time Monday morning on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so let me get back into this chat. I'm going to also talk about Lovie Smith a little bit later and his thoughts about the comments from Bobby Bowden about Jameis Winston. I mean, that's his guy. You can fully expect or understand exactly what he had to say about Jameis Winston. It's his guy going forward, so we'll get into that a little bit later as well. From Fred Mack, Steph off the dribble, spot up. Reggie mostly off screens. He shoots better than Reggie Miller. Reggie is a great shooter, but Steph, though. From Sluggo, the principal that made those derogatory comments at her commencement speech is looking for employment. She was fired. Yes, and she was fired. And we talked about this earlier, and if you saw the video, it's in Gwinnett County, Georgia. It was all over the internet. Basically, in effect, long story short, she called out the black students. And so she's been fired. Now, she is the owner of the school. And so I don't know how that works. I don't know if she just started it and she actually sold it or what. But it's being reported that she was fired. I knew that she would. Tree didn't think that she would be fired. But they're saying she's fired. I don't know if it's some type of, just propaganda, some type of stake throwing or whatever.
Semantics.
It's semantics. Some type
She's the founder. I guess in Monk's Corner, that's the owner. But
hey, watch your mouth.
Okay.
Watch your mouth.
No, you were right.
It was just too toxic. They had to.
I lost. You won.
They had to quote unquote fire her. I mean, she couldn't be the figurehead of any damn school after that crap she said, right? Huh?
Yes, I see that, but I know they're watching.
Well, I mean, you are conspiracy ninjas.
Ninjas, I like it.
You are conspiracy ninjas, so yeah, and I understand. I mean, she started the school. How can you fire her? But I don't know what that means exactly. But for the public, she's fired. I mean, she had to go. Simple as that. From Fat Boy McCoon, number 5 on this list for top 5 shooters, Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr definitely made my honorable mention for youngsters that never saw Steve Kerr play. I mean, he could stroke it. He was that spot-up guy. Him and who was the other little baby-face-looking little ninja for the Bulls back in the day? B.J. Armstrong. They would just spot up and, let Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen penetrate, kick it out, and they'd shoot 3-pointers. That's all they did. Steve Spurrier also did a lot of that also with San Antonio later in his career. But, yeah, spot-up shooter, man. That's what Steve Kerr did. So he has Steve Kerr at number 5, number 4, Dennis Scott, number 3, Ray Allen, number 2, Steph Curry. Damn. See, that's the problem I got with this. Once again, and I'm kind of going back and I'm kind of hedging my bet a little bit because I've been very complimentary of Steph Curry today and really just, eating my words. But I really have a problem with you putting Steph Curry over Ray Allen. I have a problem with that. Now, maybe I need to just get over it, but damn, Ray Allen's been doing this a long, long time and did it a long, long time. And then he has hardware behind his name as well. So I guess I'm just more loyal to old school, I guess. And then he has Reggie Miller at number 1. Ronald Cameron, top 5 best shooters, Chris Mullin at 5, Steph Curry at 4. Reggie Miller at 3, Ray Allen at 2, and Larry Bird at 1. I like your list. Ms. Mocha Bella, BPA to that Amtrak driver who was driving over 100 miles an hour and killing those innocent people. That's a horrible story. I mean, unbelievable. 100 miles an hour going around a curve. I got a friend that works for the railroad company. He's saying the only thing he can think of, and it still doesn't make sense to him, the only thing he can think of is the dude fell asleep. And that happens more so than often with those railroad drivers. But he said there's actually things in place that if you don't do a certain thing off a checklist or whatever, you'll get an alarm. So the fact that this happened, that he did fall asleep, or that's what he's speculating, my boy, he says it still doesn't make sense. Like, that should never happen where you fall asleep and you lose control of a train. Amtrak? Nah, that doesn't make sense at all. From Fred Mack, I thought Paul Pierce won the game last night again. And Paul Pierce was talking cash-ish to the ATL fans last night before they ultimately lost. Oh, I can't stand that ninja. Oh, I can't stand him. He was already pulling off, pumping his chest and talking to the fans. I'm like, damn, man, I don't like you. And luckily, Al Horford did his thing. From Vince Wright, enough of the Hawks. ATL ho. At least you used the hashtag, Vince. ATL ho. And Vince is a fan of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's from Minnesota. Love you, Vince, but this is ATL time, man. I mean, we've never been in this position before. From 216 Dane. Dirk at number 5. Ooh, I forgot about Dirk. Let me add him to my honorable mention list. Hold on a second. Dirk Nowitzki, honorable mention list. Dirk. Nowitzki. F-O-R-D. Period. So Dirk Nowitzki is added to my honorable mention. I forgot all about him at number 5. Number 4 is Steph Curry, Reggie Miller at number 3, Ray Allen at 2, and Bird at 1. 216 Dane. It's kind of like the list that I read a little bit earlier, and it's very similar to mine. I can just tell you that right now. From Jungle Brother, nobody hurting more than Doug. He went on Tom Joyner picking the Grizzlies. Laugh out loud. Oh, I forgot about that. Not only did I call the Grizzlies to win it all, but I went on the TJMS on national big-time big boy radio, worldwide radio, and proclaimed that the Washington or the Memphis Grizzlies would win this year's NBA championship. That's not good at all. Yeah, this is really hurting. You damn reminded me, Jungo. I forgot all about that. From Eugene Jackson, Ball Award to John Wall for playing with a broken hand. Competitor. I love these young point guards, man. These young point guards are just phenomenal. I mean, they're phenomenal. You talk about Steph Curry. You can even throw in Mike Conley, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, John Wall. I mean, these young point guards are just phenomenal. Great era of point guards in the NBA. From Brian Hill, top 5, Larry Bird, and Larry Bird. Yeah, I hear you. From Montana Jones, Doug, you know damn well Golden State ain't winning a chip this year. No, I'm not saying Golden State's going to win it. Well, let me just say this. I feel like they can win it more so now than I've ever felt this year. Yeah. Over these last 2 games, man, they're like a well-oiled machine. And Steph Curry is like a well-oiled machine as far as shooting that basketball, man. And he's so little, and I think maybe that's part of the reason why that it's just hard for me to believe in the Steph Curry. He's a little tiny, frail-looking fella. You remember the first couple of years in the NBA, he had all these ankle problems, and he could never really stay on the court. And to go from Davidson and having ankle problems and being drafted, you know, even though he was kind of drafted pretty high, I think he was drafted 7th when he came out, to go from all of those obstacles to being the league MVP and just a straight-up killer? Because he's a killer. He's a killer. He's a young killer, but he's a killer. He's come a long way, man. He's come a long way. 2 cats that have come a long way, Steph Curry and Blake Griffin. Like, you would have never, I would have never believed in a million years that Blake Griffin would have taken his game where it came from when he first got into the league. And then you remember he also missed an entire season. He tore his, Achilles or something like that, his knee. But he's come back stronger than ever. You would have never told me in a million years that Steph Curry and Blake Griffin would be this good this early. But both of those guys worked in their games and they're showing off on the court, man. And in contrast, on the flip side of that, you would have never told me in a million years before I had to run in with him in Bristol on that plane where I was about to go to his ass or have to go to his ass. You would have never been able to tell me in a million years that Dwight Howard would have regressed as much as he has. Yeah. Early on, I'm a Dwight Howard technically, quote, unquote, technically I'm a hater right now, as some of the young people would call it. But I thought that he would get better. I thought that at some point he would get with Kevin McHale, which is crazy. He actually plays for Kevin McHale. He would get with Moses Malone, or he would get with Akeem Olajuwon, and he would develop an offensive game. Dwight Howard has never done that. He's regressed. And that's word to my mother. He's regressed, and y'all know it. But Blake Griffin and Steph Curry? Oh, man, they're on the path to greatness. I got to be honest with you. They are on the path to greatness. What I watched last night from that young boy, Steph Curry, oh, man, how do young people say it? He's sick with it. Damn, Grizzlies, I need y'all to do something, man. I need y'all to shock the world. Ooh-wee. I can see J. Anthony Brown clowning me the next time I go back on the show. Didn't you say the Grizzlies were going to win it? Oh, deservingly so. If the Golden State Warriors win this series and win an NBA championship. All right, when we get back from the break, all I'm going to do is read chat. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to read chat, and I'll also give you number 3 on my list of top 5 shooters of all times. Don't go away. Stay right there. This is the Doug Stewart Show. System 5 Electronics is proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's just a few reasons to choose System 5. Not only is their monitoring station located here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this, you own your security alarm system once it's installed. Not only have they been around for almost 25 years, but their customer service is excellent. And you get direct access to the owner, Mr. Maceo Brown, to resolve any issues with your alarm system. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736. And make sure and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes!
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Oh, I love this Hold on. We got to let it drop. Yeah! 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 Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. I love that. Shouts out to Kanye for that. This is we're doing top 5 shooters in NBA history on the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining me on this Throwback Thursday. Number 5 on my list was Dennis Scott. Number 4, Chris Mullin. Number 3 on my list is the great Ray Allen, a.k.a. Jesus Shuttlesworth. He comes in at number 3 on my list. Just fantastic stroke. Textbook form if you watch Ray Allen. And not only that, he's the all-time three-point shot leader, I believe, at this point in his career, or of his career when he had a career. Didn't play this year. Like, I could see Ray Allen coming back to play basketball next year. Maybe he just wanted some time off. You don't really lose that. For many, many years, I thought Reggie Miller was going to come back and play, and he kind of hinted around doing it. And both of those guys are in tremendous shape. They could definitely play a role of a spot-up shooter, kind of like what I mentioned earlier with Steve Kerr and B.J. Armstrong. I mean, those guys, they could do that. They can do that for another 4 or 5 years easily, but I don't think so for Reggie Miller. Ray Allen, maybe, but he comes in at number 3 on my list of top 5 NBA shooters of all times. Hey, you remember yesterday? I had mentioned how the Della Vadova cat was a foreign player, and I hate how they flop, and they always do these little strange things. And you remember in the game the night before, he had, put a leg lock while he was on the ground to Taj Gibson, and they actually kicked Taj out of the game because he kind of kicked at the dude. And so Della Vadova has been assessed a technical foul for his role in the altercation during Tuesday's Game 5. And I had mentioned yesterday how he was a foreigner, and somebody corrected me or tried to correct me in the chat room and saying that he went to St. Mary's and he's not a foreigner, he's actually from here. No, he's not. He is not from here. He's from across the water. He's actually from Australia. And those foreign international players, they always are flopping. They always doing something like that. They always doing something, outside of the realm of what you normally see on a basketball court, I guess from a perspective from somebody that lives here. And they always doing little, silly, childish little things like that. Like, if you saw that video, if you saw the game, he put some type of leg lock on Taj Gibson. Now, on the playground, that'd get his ass kicked. But luckily, he's in the NBA. That would have been a fight, though, definitely on the playground. He's in the NBA, and so he's actually been assessed a technical foul for his role in what happened the other night. The officials, they always doing the little slide under the table, dirty type stuff. You remember Vlade Divac? He was the king of dirtiness and flopping. And it just seems like that those international players, they always doing crap like that. So I'm glad that the NBA actually caught him for that. From Montana Jones, from Fat Boy McCoon. I'm sorry, people kill me talking about they won't watch the finals because the team's playing, but it's the finals. They'll watch no matter who is playing. I disagree with you, Fat Boy McCoon. I understand what you're saying, but trust me. I mean, just like ratings for certain fights are better than other fights, just like ratings for the Super Bowl with 2 better teams or even 2 legacy teams are better than, 2 teams that don't have that legacy. Like, I promise you, the ratings for Pittsburgh Steelers and Dallas Cowboys is going to be better than the ratings you'd have for the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, that's just bottom line. We're probably going to watch, and those are the avid fans, but I guess what that talks about is casual fans. We watch football, we're going to watch football. We watch basketball, we're going to watch basketball. But the casual fan, nah, they ain't checking on Golden State. They're not checking on Golden State and who else? Who's going to come out in the Wizards? They're just not. From Star-Lord, number 3, Dell Curry. Number 2, Reggie Miller. Number 1, Ray Allen. Dell Curry is definitely honorable mention. I didn't have him on my honorable mention list. I'll add him. From Let Me, don't be surprised if Cleveland wins it all. Just saying. I mean, I won't be surprised. But the only reason I think that it's more wide open once again is because they don't have Kevin Love, and they don't have that team intact in which they did all of the great things, especially the second half of the season. It seems like they started to hit their stride, and they figured each other out. The fact that they don't have Kevin Love, and also another reason why, I'm not saying that Cleveland is the odds-on favorite to definitely win an NBA championship this year, is because I think their coach doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I mean, clearly, with LeBron James saying he's scrapping plays and Tyronn Lue having to tell a guy, he's just green. And if they don't win the championship this year, I fully expect them to get rid of this guy, David Blatt, and bring in a more established coach, kind of like what they're going to have to do, I think, in New Orleans, as I mentioned on yesterday, and them firing Monty Williams. So, yeah, I mean, there's several reasons why I don't think it's a done deal that Cleveland's going to win it. Can Cleveland win it? Yeah, but I think like 5 teams can win it this year. This year more so than any other year that I can remember. Every team has a little asterisk by them as far as why they could or couldn't win it all. Golden State's young. Washington's young. They don't really have, outside of John Wall, they don't really have a team that looks like a dominant team in the NBA. Chances are they won't beat the Hawks. Hawks, obviously, there's a lot of issues with every team that you can point at this year in the NBA. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Eugene Jackson. Doug, those kids in Jackie Robinson Little League got caught cheating. No one didn't cry like these winning-ass Patriots fans, whining-ass Patriots fans. Brady needs to man up and accept his punishment. You know what? I thought about that on yesterday. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I thought about this last night. Clearly, Tom Brady did this, okay? And the fact that he hadn't vehemently come out and tried to defend himself, which is crazy because Jonathan Vilma, in a story, in an interview, says that Tom Brady should fight the NFL and defend himself about these allegations. And actually, here's the quote from Jonathan Vilma. He said in talking about Tom Brady and his situation, Jonathan Vilma sued the NFL and actually won with the whole Bountygate situation. Quote from Jonathan Vilma, former linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. I tell Brady to fight the emotion of defending himself publicly, lawyer up, and begin to devise a game plan to beat the NFL through the court system, is what Jonathan Vilma wrote in a text. But here's the difference between that situation and Tom Brady. Jonathan Vilma probably didn't do what he was accused of doing. He believed it, and he fought it, and he won. Tom Brady knows good and well that he actually did these things. So this is a totally different argument between Jonathan Vilma and what's going on with Tom Brady right now. So the reason why Tom Brady won't, win this argument or try to publicly defend himself, because he knows he's guilty. There's two totally different things. There's apples and oranges and talking about, what happened with Jonathan Vilma and Tom Brady. If Tom Brady, and I'll say this once again, if Tom Brady or me or anybody knows that they didn't do something, whether your lawyer's telling you, not to talk about it or not, you're going to say you didn't do these things. And he's never said that. He's never said that. He's kind of skirted around the conversation and made these references to the case, but not really come out and says, man, I didn't do this. Man, I didn't do this. He's never done that. You know why? Because he did it. Okay? But I think that in thinking about it last night, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I really could see Tom Brady coming out and saying, you know what, man, I made a huge mistake. I actually lied, literally falling on the mercy of the court and saying that he made a mistake. He lied. He told the equipment manager what to do. It's probably the most egregious error that he's ever made in his life, and then cry. And you know what would happen if he did that? If he came at a press conference and said those things and admitted to what he did and cried, okay, that's a very important part of this. He has to cry. If he cries, you know what America will do? And they want to do it. They'll forgive him. And he'll actually become a sympathetic figure. As crazy as that sounds, he'll become a sympathetic figure. Oh, stop piling on Tom Brady. Give him a chance. He's a nice guy. He'll actually end up twisting this thing around to being a hero. I'm telling you. That's what he probably needs to do. Because whether he sues the NFL, whether they have proof or not, reasonable people believe that he did this. You feel me? Reasonable people feel like that he did this. Simple as that. And that might be the best way to go. Just go up there and cry. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
This your boy Doug Stewart for my folks at System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners here in the metro Atlanta area all the way down to Macon, Georgia, the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for that busy lifestyle you lead for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose System 5.
Hi, I'm Maceo Brown, President and CEO of System 5 Electronics. We take pride in making sure that security is the #1 thing that we do. And thanks to you, the customer that has supported us, we have grown this company in Southwest Atlanta, where we're creating jobs and opportunities.
Not only is their monitoring station here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this. You own the security alarm system once it's installed. And you get direct access to the owner if you ever got a problem, Mr. Maceo Brown. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736, or online at System5electronicsinc.com. That's System5electronicsinc.com. The world's heavyweight champion of sports talk radio. This is the Doug Stewart Show. And thank you for joining your boy. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. If you're not following the show on Spreaker.com, you're wrong. Make sure you follow the show and then jump in the chat room with all the other Stewies and be totally interactive. Yes. We're doing top 5 shooters in NBA history. Number 5 on my list was Dennis Scott, a.k.a. 3D. Number 4, Chris Mullin. Number 3, Ray Allen. Number 2 on my list is the great Reggie Miller. So y'all know who number 1. I'll save it. But number 2 is Reggie Miller. Just phenomenal. And nobody wanted to cut your heart out and eat it with some further beans like the great Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was a killer. Never won an NBA championship. But obviously played on a bunch of good teams. The Pacers used to go to the playoffs all the time. I think they actually made it to a couple of Eastern Conference finals. But you know they couldn't get past the Bulls. But Reggie Miller, man. And you remember the whole series, battles with the New York Knicks and calling out Spike Lee and all of that stuff. Reggie Miller, man, just phenomenal. I saw a little video of him like pre-game of a couple of weeks ago before a game that he called. And he was on the court, and maybe this was after a game, and he was on the court in his suit and tie, and, you know, somebody kept tossing him basketballs. He hit like 10 shots in a row. Yeah. It wasn't 77 in a row, but, I mean, still, for a man in his church shoes, I mean, it was good. And so Reggie Miller comes in at number 2 on my list of top 5 shooters of all times. This segment is brought to you by National Debt Relief. They're one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditors and collections accounts. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, an alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. So before you file bankruptcy, give them a shot. Give them a call. See if they can work it out for you, okay? 844-828-4975. Once again, that's 844-828-4975. Yes, sir. So, more of your chat. We've been talking about a bunch of things today. Do you like the idea of Odell Beckham Jr. being the next Madden cover boy? And for people that don't know, I mean, I'm one of the greatest Madden players in the history of Madden. I retired. This is a true story. For the old school Two Live Stews listeners, you'll remember this. Since like 2001, the Two Live Stews had a online Madden league, okay? And I go all the way back to Nintendo when I was in the dorm in college in 1989 and 1990 playing Tecmo Bowl. So I've been playing video games a long, long time. But so we took it to the next level with the Two Live Stews in like early 2000s when we first started on air. And it was it Sega? Was it PlayStation? It was PlayStation, Sony PlayStation. And so we had an online league where every team was drafted by a different person, and we played a season long, just like the NFL. And it still goes on till this day. I retired as a 2-time champion like 6 or 7 years ago. Back-to-back champion. And then I retired. I stopped playing video games, period. And video games used to really consume my life, especially like in the mid-'90s, late 90s. We used to go over to my brother's house and play Madden all day long. I mean, all day and night long. I mean, it was really some type of disease, I think, that we had, man. I mean, we'd call Rise, and we'd sit around for 2-3 hours before we even got a chance to get on the sticks. Yes. So it'd be 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in Ryan's basement, and we'd have, booze. Yeah, we'd have some brew and, hors d'oeuvres, some pizza or something. And we were grown-ass men, but we played Madden all day and night. That just goes to tell you how much I actually love that game, how much dudes love that game. And so I'm was all into the whole Madden culture. And so all that talk comes from Odell Beckham Jr. actually being on the cover of Madden as opposed to Rob Gronkowski. I thought that was kind of interesting. We also talked about some NBA all day long today and a couple of other stories. I got to get into this Lovie Smith story quickly before we get out of here. Lovie Smith actually in response to Bobby Bowden's comments about Jameis Winston being an embarrassment to Florida State had this to say. We do not see Winston as an embarrassment by any means, Lovie Smith said. He meant an awful lot to Florida State. I would never say that. The essential people at Florida State we talked to, and no one said that Jameis was an embarrassment. It was the complete opposite, starting with Jimbo Fisher, the current football coach. That's why I say I can't believe it. Well, believe it. Bobby Bowden did say those things about Jameis Winston. But like I said on yesterday, he shouldn't have said them. He shouldn't have said them. Were they true? Was Jameis Winston an embarrassment to Florida State? A lot of times he was. I mean, that's just real. But once again, he's a younger guy. He made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully he'll grow from those things. Bobby Bowden just shouldn't have said it. And that was Bobby Bowden, an 80-something-year-old man, talking outside of his neck. He know good and well he shouldn't have said that crap. But so Lovie Smith has got the support of his new quarterback. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. From Niner for Life, Patriots been documented for cheating way back since 2002. So was their dynasty talk and their Super Bowls labeled with asterisks? Also, Brady couldn't deflate the balls at the combine. Is that why he didn't get drafted until the 6th or 7th round? Whenever he went, laugh out loud. Yeah, you got to ask the question. I mean, how long has he been cheating? The question begs to be asked. Simple as that. John Fisher, Doug, you wild, and Steph is the only shooter who created his own shot. He will boogie on your ass balls. Yeah, that didn't sound right. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, you can say all you want about me, and this is obviously building up to be a bad prediction about me saying the Memphis Grizzlies were going to win it all this year after they had the great Game 3 win. But I'll tell you this, man. I mean, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to acknowledge when I was wrong. Maybe I haven't been giving these kids enough credit. And I feel compelled to call them kids and talking about Golden State and their team because they're so young. And, hell, I'm so old. I mean, damn. So, yeah, you got Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. They're young. And, man, they're good. From Sandman, Paul Pierce needs to go back to his assisted living home. Boosa, I'm a Wizards fan, but, yes, Paul Pierce is a buster. Nominate him for a BPA. As a matter of fact, I'm going to nominate Paul Pierce for a BPA. For a Boiled Peanuts Award. Let me grab my pen. It's going to take too long for me to write his name, so I'll write it later. From J. Rob, nah, Doug, you're not a hater. Dwight Howard is garbage. He did get with Hakeem, or maybe that was Kareem, and paid him and still has no low post moves. Oh, yeah. I'm not a hater. I mean, I'm just real. From Vince Wright, John Paxson, honorable mentions in the playoffs. From Brett McDowell, Craig Hodges is honorable mention. Ooh, yeah, the great Craig Hodges. Former Chicago Bull. Did Hodges play with Jordan? Yeah, I think Hodges was on the team with Jordan when he first got into the league. But he wasn't part of those championship teams. Maybe Craig Hodges, and I'm not going to look it up right now. Maybe somebody can throw it in the chat real quick. Maybe Hodges was with, like, the first Bulls championship team. I don't think so. But, yeah, Craig Hodges was an assassin. From Detroit, Matt. Number 5, Dale Ellis. I got Dale Ellis on my honorable mention, Seattle Supersonics. Number 4, Joe Dumars. Number 3, Steph Curry. Number 2, Miller. And number 1, he's got Ray Allen at number 1. 9 the Rhino. Blake's jumper is 10 times better. Oh, my gosh. Blake Griffin is so much better of a player now than he was 4 years ago. What's this? This is probably his 5th or 6th year in the league. He is so much better than he was when he first got into the NBA. When he came into the NBA, he was like a one-trick pony. You know, I remember one of my co-hosts, one of the guys that hosted the show on the radio station that we worked for many years, he used to always say, and it was a baseball guy, I'm not going to even say his name, but he always used to say Mark McGwire was a one-trick pony. All he could do was hit home runs. Same thing with Blake Griffin. All he could do was dunk. Blake Griffin's jump shot is so much better. His mid-range jumper is so much better. His ball handling is so much better. He's worked on his game. And so I give him much kudos for that, man. He's a much better player than he was a couple of years ago. All right, when we get back from the break, I'll give you number 1 on my list. You know who it is, but I'll give you number 1 on my list of top 5 shooters in NBA history. and I'll also give you my honorable mentions as well. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And this is a Throwback Thursday. And talking about the top 5 shooters of all times in NBA history. Number 5 on my list was Dennis Scott. Number 4, Chris Mullin. Number 3, Ray Allen. Number 2, Reggie Miller. And number 1, oh, this guy would cut your heart out and eat it as well. Him and Reggie Miller were going to dinner together. The great Larry Bird. Yes, sir. Oh, boy. The great Larry Bird. Ooh. You talk about hating a man. Oh, because I lightweight rooted for Dr. J. I mean, every kid in America rooted for Dr. J. As simple as that. Every kid in America, loved and adored the great Julius Erving. And boy, Larry Bird used to eat the 76ers lunch. And I can't even start to tell you how many big shots he hit against the 76ers. It was unbelievable, man. He was just silky smooth, pure as hell. Fantastic player. One of the best players of all time, despite what Isaiah Thomas says. And so Larry Bird goes in at number 1 on my list of all-time great shooters in the NBA. Hey, Tree, jump on here for a second. So we were talking during the break. And we had this conversation before, and I kind of expounded on it a little bit earlier when I was talking about how much time and effort I put into the John Madden football game as a grown-ass man. And you were telling me that your husband was a big fan of it as well?
Yeah, I really didn't. I really thought it was personal. The MIA.
Right.
Not at work.
Right.
Gone all day. Standing outside.
So you thought he was the only person, the only grown man that was consumed by that video game?
I did.
No, he wasn't.
Until I saw the chat. You guys, you said it, And this is, of course, years later, and then the chat is like on fire about it.
Let me say this, and I tried to explain it to my wife so many different ways. Our parents, when our parents were growing up,
Lord Jesus.
When our parents were growing up, like what they did in their spare time is they played, bid whist or they played checkers or whatever. In my era of growing up, we didn't do that. We played Madden. We played John Madden football, okay, all day long, just like your mom and them would have, a party where they'd play cards or whatever, like I said, bid whist or spades or something like that. No. What we did is we devoted every free minute we had into that game, and I am happy to report to you that I'm a 2-time 2 Live Stews world champion. And we used to do it random. I mean, we put so much time and effort, and I really don't regret it because I guess if you're competitive and you played sports, then you get it, and it's hard for, I guess, people outside of that culture not to understand. But, I mean, I'm not regretful of it, but I did waste a lot of hours playing that video game, and I see in the chat a lot of people share the same sentiment.
We should look and see how many relationships were, and real talk, were severed. Because I mean, like, if we could get a therapist to come on, I had no idea.
You're right. And I shelved Madden to devote more time to golf. But here's the thing about it. In over 10 years of playing golf, I hadn't gotten any better. But Madden, oh my gosh, like I said, I started playing video games with Atari, the 2600, with the 3 little fat guys on each team. Okay, and then we progressed to Tecmo Bowl, and then I remember we used to play Joe Montana football on Sega Genesis. And then it evolved into John Madden football on Sony, and then to Xbox. I didn't play it on Xbox. When I stopped playing, Xbox got big. Like, Xbox kind of overtook PlayStation, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So that was during the era where I quit. The last 2 championships that I won in the Stews League, and shouts out to the commissioner, Reg the commish. We actually got a commissioner and everything in the 2 Live Stews Football League. We do. We got a commissioner, and he's been the commissioner. He's, in effect, the Roger Goodell of the 2 Live Stews Madden League for the last 10 years. So they make rules, standards, everything. I mean, it's a real big thing. I don't talk about it a lot, but it's a big, big-ass thing. Trust me on this. And so when I stopped playing, that's when Xbox kind of overtook Sony PlayStation as far as popularity. And so, I know they're doing Xbox right now in the league, and it's crazy. Shouts out to John Madden. And John Madden's going to be more so remembered for being the name of a video game than his time being a coach in the NFL for the Oakland Raiders. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so my honorable mentions, Dale Ellis, sharpshooter for the Seattle Supersonics. Byron Scott, fantastic coach right now in the NBA, coaching my LA Lakers, but he was a fantastic shooter as well when he played for the Lakers back in the day. Andrew Toney, speaking of the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Strangler. Andrew Toney was an animal from the outside. Whatever happened to Andrew Toney? You talk about that star hit real bright, real fast. Andrew Toney for a couple of years, man, was a marksman for the 76ers. Tim Hardaway, I mentioned him earlier. Kevin Durant is probably the youngest guy I got on my list outside of Steph Curry. So Kevin Durant's on my list of sharpshooters as well. Just a pure basketball player. Steph Curry, Mark Price, Glenn Rice. You remember Glenn Rice? Glenn Rice was an animal. Played for several teams. Who do I remember Glenn Rice more so playing for, though? Probably the Heat. Like, when I think of Glenn Rice, he played for a couple of different teams, but I think he actually even played for the Lakers for a minute. But when I remember and think about Glenn Rice, I think of him playing for the Miami Heat. So that's my honorable mentions on the Doug Stewart Show. From Detroit, Matt, Dale Ellis at 5, Joe Dumars, I already read that one. Ronald Cameron Ori was definitely one of the most clutch playoff shooters. Now, if we're talking clutch, simply clutch, nothing else, not really pure, Robert Ori probably could be mentioned in the conversation. Detroit Matt With the way Golden State is playing, no one can beat them. They just move the ball around so well, man. They do. It's a beautiful offense. And once again, a big part of what they do is the fact that Steph Curry handles the basketball so well. So, he's small in stature, but he goes to the basket hard. And if they double team him, he just kicks it out. And even their big guys, their quote-unquote big guys, are making three-point shots. They look good, man. They look very good. I know, and we shouldn't technically boot them, but, damn, they look good. And I'm going to look wrong as hell if they win a championship this year. From Sandman, people forgot about Peja Stojakovic. I remember Peja Stojakovic. Who did he play for? Sacramento? Chucktown Frank. Whoever had the top 5 shooters is as all Larry Bird is Einstein-like. I couldn't put a better list together, and all those picks were tough. French Lick is the snitch. Yeah, Larry Bird, man. Niner for life. I just had to harken back to the great Larry Bird and how much he used to hurt my feelings on Sunday afternoon. CBS Sports, Larry Bird, Philadelphia 76ers, Dr. J. And then Doc made it all better when he put Larry Bird in a little headlock and gave him like 30 little noogies. Like, wook up, wook up, wook up, wook up, wook up. First, Doc choked him. Didn't Doc choke him first? Doc choked him. He grabbed him by the goozle, and he choked his ass a little bit. Vince Wright. What about Michael Cooper with the Magic, with Magic's Lakers? Yeah. He was a clutch shooter. Booster. I'm a Wizards fan, but yes, Paul Pierce is a buster. Montana Jones, 4-letter network, is reality TV pretending to be sports. Let's see what else. Eugene Jackson, Doug, why did Bobby Bowden go ham on Jameis Winston? Didn't he hear the comments the 2 years Winston played for Florida State? Fell pay. I used to be a beast on that Madden, too, when a grip of paper off that game. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing about Madden. We used to bet hella cash. Yeah. We used to bet hella cash on Madden. Just like I bet now on the golf course, for skins or whatever, we used to bet on that Madden heavy too. And you remember, was this before? Yeah, it was after. It was after my brother was out of the league, after Ryan was out of the league, so he still had a lot of money. And, we weren't betting like NBA players on the plane trip home, but it was a lot of cash being passed around when we played Madden, man. It was really, we were kind of sick now that I think about it. Sandman, yeah, I remember that. You and Ryan used to go in on that Madden too. Too bad I was in high school then. I would have whooped up on both of y'all. No, you wouldn't have. Trust me, I was a coach. I was an offensive genius on that Madden. Okay? Yeah, we didn't do none of those glitch plays. We took it so serious. Like if there was like a glitch play, or we didn't let you punt. You know how people, they fake punt and it's 4th down and 30 and people will fake punt. And back then there was kind of like a glitch where you could actually successfully convert a 4th and 25. We outlawed all of that crap. Yeah. Unless it was like late in the 4th quarter, you weren't going to fake punt. If it didn't really happen in real life, we weren't going to let you do that. We had like gentlemen's agreements. We took that game serious. Yes, sir, we did. We did. We took it serious. I love you, John Madden. I love you. Oh, I might come out of retirement. No, I'm not. Just takes too much time, man. It takes way too much time that I don't have. All these children and whatnot. Hey, man, thank you so much for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. A question I got for you. Are you not entertained? Huh? You know you are. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Shouts out to the Tree of Life. Thank you, Tree. I numb new too. Waterhead Walter, not here today. That's okay. Gerald Oliveri, Dwayne Bassan, thank y'all so much for engineering the show, getting us on. I appreciate it. And to all of the Stewies, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.